Hi, this is Dave from Heroes Needed, just one of the many fine shows you can find on the Nod Network. Visit us on nerdod.com or subscribe on iTunes, Google Podcasts, or Spotify, or wherever else you get your favorite podcasts.
Seaman.
Yeah.
Oh God, it wasn't called Seaman.
Yeah,
it was called
Seaman.
Reg, we said most underrated, not most mental.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the nerdod podcast. I am Shaun, joined today with Reg and
Oh, hello. Hello there.
My pie's done. That's it, I'm out.
You've done your bit. You can now be silent for 1 hour of your time. Now, speaking of hello there, I just dropped a general an Obi-Wan Kenobi reference, and not one of you said General Kenobi, so you're dead to me. But besides that, can we just go straight in on...
hello.
Hello there. That's what he says to General Grievous, mate. What is going on here?
That's a bit fluffy for a quote, though.
Yeah.
You tell that to the internet. You tell that.
Like a 3 in the Star Wars quiz that we got.
I mean, that is true and tragic, and I'm sad about it. Anyway, Star Wars. We're on that now. I made it happen instantly.
Right. Okay. That's
so. I don't know whether I've talked about this on previous podcasts, but
straight away. Sorry.
I mean, I'm still at this point in time. The holiday is still currently going ahead, although it's not. It's going to get cancelled. For those of you who don't know, I'm booked in to go to Florida on the 24th of December. Which is otherwise. Oh yeah, I remember that. Which is otherwise known as Christmas Eve. For those of you not on the planet for a long time. So yeah, at the moment we're still supposed to be going. The people that were going on the 11th with Virgin Holidays have all been cancelled. So we're just waiting. Yeah, we're just waiting for the call. There's no way it's going to happen.
Nah.
I mean, this. I don't want to get too political with it, but it's based on two people, really, isn't it? And a fucking an election. So we'll see. So
for all you know, it might not get cancelled because of COVID, John. It might get cancelled because America is literally on fire. Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely.
The whole country. Possible.
Or because Andy Burnham throws all his toys out of the pram after being fucked over by Boris one too many times and says, fuck it, we're closing it down.
That's true, because you're in Greater Manchester, aren't you?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah,
and I'm flying out of Greater Manchester as well, so he's got that base covered. But that's not what I wanted to talk about. Sorry for making it political. I've been watching loads of Disney videos about what else you can do, while you're in the queue line and stuff. And one thing which is exciting is you can go to this booth and they give you cards, like playing cards for the day with characters on them, and you show them to this like computer screen, and you've got like special moves, and it sends you around the park to go to other computer screens. That's exciting.
Is that the Sorcerer's?
Yes,
Sorcerer's Quest or something. It's awesome.
It looks amazing, and you can get like 1 pack of cards a day. So, and the collectors, you can bring them home, so it's yours to keep. But the other thing is when you're in the Star Wars area, there's an app you can download where you're doing loads of tasks for, I don't know, a Star Wars character, might be Yoda, don't know. But as you're doing them, it gets you to do things like scanning barcodes that are on like storage boxes and stuff, littered around the place. And like if one of the stormtroopers catches you scanning them in, they go into character and they're like, "Hey, what are you doing there?" They know what you're doing, but like it's all like live action and stuff. And you're like, "Nothing, not doing anything. Don't mind me."
That's pretty cool, even though if I do think it's wasted on you with lines like, someone tells you to, I don't know, Yoda, who knows? But so that's something which I very much would love to go. We were going to go, we did have a plan to go to Florida this year, specifically so I can go and buy a lightsaber, because obviously that's what I'm going to do when I get to Orlando next time.
It's so good as well.
And then, obviously, we planned, I'd say we canceled the plan. No, we just decided not to go this year. And that was about a month before COVID properly hit anyway. So it was like, okay,
I like that.
Right choice.
It's not their choice. It's your choice. Take control where you can.
Yeah,
I said the exact same thing. I was like, we're definitely going this year, guys. I'm going to make it a nice little surprise for everyone. And I'm like, COVID. But I decided against it just before.
You made the choice. The virus didn't choose for you. You chose. But now I'm thinking like I definitely want to go next year. But it's like, when are we going to open things? I don't know. Let's not get into it. Anyway. Star Wars. 2 things. Number 1, well, 3 things. Number 1 was your holiday. That's definitely going to get cancelled. Number 2 is Star Wars Squadrons. Squadrons, I haven't been on the podcast to talk about it since it was released. And I think it's important to mention that if you have wanted to fly a starship, this is the game that you should go and buy. You should go and buy it because it's fun. You've got the customization, which is a bit of fun. You get to fly starships. And also, it's a much lower cost than a lot of other titles of its type because of the fact that it's got a very short single-player campaign and it's all focused around the multiplayer. But
yeah, that's my concern isn't the fact that it's got a short campaign, because I think with the style of game it is, that's the correct time for a campaign in space like this. My issue with the multiplayer is they're like, look, we've got like 4 different game modes for it. But you're not getting any new material at all because we moved on to a different game. So just be happy with what you've got.
Yeah,
so going to be no new maps.
I read that. I just thought that can't be a set 100% thing.
They've moved on to a different project, mate. They're not focusing on anything else. They've already stated they've moved on to another project and don't expect anything.
But I wonder then, because obviously I've played it, I enjoy it. I'm going to keep playing it. It was like 30 quid, 35 quid, so I get lower cost than a big name title normally would cost you. I can't work out if it did well. I mean, I don't know what the sales numbers are like, but if it did well, why they wouldn't want to give people more, even if it was DLC. It's EA Games, for Christ's sake. If they want to charge 5 quid for a couple new maps or something, people would probably buy that. So it surprises me that they wouldn't look at that opportunity. But if you played Starfighter Assault in Battlefront 2 and you enjoyed that game mode, this is basically a bigger, fancier version of that. And I say that not as a negative, because I love that game mode and I do really like playing this. So I would say that the only benefit that Starfighter Assault had was that you could play across different eras. So you had obviously the Clone Wars prequel ships as well as the original trilogy ships, so you had a bit more variation there. But the customization is fun. The customization on things like weapons and engines and armor and that kind of stuff, it means that you're flying very different kinds of things, but it is a lot of fun. And I've not played it in VR, and I've heard that's amazing. So,
well, that's the thing. I've got it. I've got Squadrons on my PS4. It's just Dan's holding my PS4 hostage. So, like, at some point, I will get to play it.
He mentioned he'd stolen your PS4.
Yeah. It was like I was literally going through Facebook the other day, and he put up a few games for sale, and I was like, that looks quite familiar. I'm like, actually, that is my copy. Next thing I know, he's just selling my VR headset and my PS4. And he's like, you don't need it anyway, Reg, you're playing WoW now. I'm like, that's a good point.
And you're like, you go online, you're like, hang on, is that my wife for sale? What's happening, Dan?
Yes.
Before we move too far away from the Disney World thing, I am aware of the fact that you both have children, or child, but together they are children. If you put them both together.
We've never hidden that fact. You make it sound weird.
Yeah. And I know that probably at this point they are too young. And also they have been, let's face it, born into an apocalyptic world.
I think that's fair.
My worry is if it carries on for any longer, by the age of 5, B is going to be more useful than I have ever been in my entire life. Foraging and getting our own food, and being able to avoid radioactive animals and stuff. So, but yeah, if things do go back to normal, I'm hoping that in maybe 2 or 3, 2 years time, you'll consider a big Disney holiday, and I'd love to be part of it. But I really think we should do it. I know next year is probably going to be too soon. Although Laura did ask me to ask, but I said it was probably going to be too soon because we're getting an annual pass for Paris next year, and we're going to try driving down. Incidentally, Dave, if you try and put Disneyland in the Tesla, it does have a good go at navigating you there. Guess how many stops it is, by the way, from where I am to Disneyland. It's only 4.
That's not too bad, actually, if you want to get to Paris.
It's not. It's only four half-hour stops, and I reckon it would probably cost about £15, which is insane.
That is crazy.
Yeah, so I'm thinking we should try and organise something. But this week, I know a couple of weeks ago I came on a podcast and didn't have much to talk about because I'm not in the console world anymore. I'm more, I've gone, full Quest. But this week I wanted to have a chat about the new offering from Microsoft that has hit in the UK. The pricing for the Xbox Live package, the game package, Game Pass, and the console for a monthly cost. It has come over to the UK and it's available. So I'm deeply considering it. So I had a couple of questions for you guys. First of all, should I get the S or the X? And that's coming from someone that doesn't currently have a DVD player or any kind of player. And secondly, what games am I going to be playing on it?
I think that's the big question, because I think that I was looking at it, and I have an Xbox One X, not a Series X, the other X. When it gets extra confusing, because Microsoft, unlike PlayStation, Sony, who just goes, oh, it's the PlayStation, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, nice and simple. Xbox, where it's like, so I've got the Xbox One X, and that was a replacement for my Xbox One S. Again, not to be confused with Series S or Series X. Ridiculous. Anyway, I don't believe in forced obsolescence, but my Xbox One X has started playing up just as they announced a brand new Xbox, which is really frustrating because I don't want to buy a new Xbox. No. I just want mine to fucking work. You hear that, Microsoft? Did you hear that? Less than 2 years old, you bastards. Anyway, that's a different story. And I was looking at the difference, and I think that you look at the Series X, and it looks like an absolute beast of a machine, like unbelievable specification. And then you look at the S, and it's like it's really good, but it's not as much of a beast of a machine, and you haven't got a disk drive, which is depends on what kind of mood you're in. I don't like physical media. I don't care, but the resolution's not quite as high and that kind of stuff.
Oh, my feels.
Well, give me physical discs and that kind of stuff, and I'm like, what is this nonsense?
What is this beautifully crafted Shenmue 3 Collector's Edition?
No. Okay, all right.
Box
all right. I will caveat and say that the odd special edition or collector's edition for a game that is worthy of it is totally cool. But if I have to, if I've got to choose between a disc game, no.
Disco.
Don't come at me like that, Reg. Don't come at me like that.
No, I'm intrigued.
You know where I sell that.
where you own that physical media, so that if your Xbox server goes down and you can't fucking play online anymore, or you change hard disks, and you go, oh, you know what, I really fancy downloading Mass Effect again, and then all of a sudden you find out that there's been a bit of an issue, and Microsoft have fallen out with them, and they're like, you know what, you're not allowed Mass Effect on your Xbox anymore. How are you going to play it?
Well, Reg, what you want me to say is that if I have a disc, I can play the game, and that's a better thing. However, I had a disc for Overwatch, which, as anybody who's heard me talk about games ever knows that Overwatch is one of my favorite games. Oh. My disc has gone missing, and I will explain to you that my daughter has discovered where the buttons are on an Xbox to turn it on and off, and then she discovered where the eject button was. And then the disc went missing, and I have not found it in my whole house.
This sounds like the cat with my AirPods. I lost my AirPods for 2 months because of that fucking cat.
Yeah. Well, she took the disc out once. She was standing on it one time, got it back. She took it out once and it was underneath the TV table, so got it back. Then I was a fool. I left it in the machine a third time. And I went to play Overwatch one night, sat down, turned the Xbox on, but hit the button, and it's like, insert disc. I was like, what are you talking about, insert disc? And it was gone. And I have not seen it since. And it's devastating. So ultimately, it doesn't matter if I got physical media. It doesn't matter if the servers go down. The fates will conspire to not let me play video games. So,
just coming back on my
Xbox will crash.
On how the deals work. Have either of you seen the pricing in the UK for the monthly?
Can't say I have this time.
Well, basically, it works out as an interest-free loan. You pay
interest-free loan for 24 months. Yeah.
You pay the full cost of Xbox Live and the machine, but you're getting it for 24 months with no interest. So it's
plus
it's
the
£10.50
that for the Game Pass as well.
Yeah, I mean it's a good deal. If you can't get it discounted any other way, then it's a really good deal because of the fact that you're just paying the normal amount.
See, that's the question, isn't it? Is whether they're going to bring the price of the console down. However, what I kind of like about this is a couple of things. First of all, it's and we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Is it's following the process that Netflix took up, that iPhones took up. You know, that you don't buy stuff up front anymore, and actually doing it that way retains value as well. Because if you're paying per month for something, Microsoft don't really have to play around with the RLP. Therefore, when you come to trade in, it's potentially going to have a higher value if they keep the value the same. You know, and it's because if you think about past consoles, that they've dived in price by hundreds of pounds. So going on the pricing, you've got the Xbox, the One X is $28.99 a month, which I thought was really good. If you go down to the S, it's $20.99 a month. But then I think they're trying the look because they're still doing the last generation Xbox on this deal for $19.99 a month. So why wouldn't you pay the extra? I've just figured it out from what Dave was just saying. It's because of the fact that you've got the disc drive.
But here's the thing, right? So if you're going to take it across a 2-year thing, my Xbox One X is 2 years old. I don't think it's been out for a lot longer than that, has it?
Not much longer, right? No.
So, but the odds of them change based on the stats of the new consoles, the odds of them changing them again in the next couple of years, I think, is very, very slim. But if you're going to get it across a monthly plan, then you may as well get a better one, I think, is the argument I would make.
Thinking. Especially with your TV and your setup with your tech that you enjoy.
Yeah. I've got the big 4K screen, the HDR screen. Yeah. Exactly,
yeah. Because all you'd be doing is going, oh, this looks amazing in 4K. I'm like, it's not in 4K. Oh, this looks amazing. Like, no, it's not. And and it doesn't look as nice. The graphics chip isn't as quick inside it. The RAM's different. Like every part of the S is different than the X. And all it is for is so that people can still join in the next gen war, but can't afford to do a full-on leap over to
I understand.
the PS5.
But I'm saying that the price, £29 a month, that's a lot cheaper than you can pick up most phone contracts for. You know what I mean? It's. I didn't realise it was going to be that cheap. I don't mean it's cheap.
So sorry to interrupt. The Xbox One came out in 2014, very end of 2013. The Xbox One S came out midway through 2016, and the One X came out at the tail end of 2017.
Oh, wow, 2017, that's blown.
Yeah, but I think it was October, November 2017 by the look at things. So I got mine at the end of 2018, and it's now obviously dying, seems to be. But the theory is, the Xbox One as a family of consoles has already been around for 6 years. Yes, they've updated it. Yes, the One S and the One X were better versions of the One. But looking at the specs on the Series X, if you went that way with the big one, I can't imagine that being replaced for a while, right? Because unless 8K TVs become absolutely mainstream, I can't work out what they could upgrade, because it already puts out the highest frame rate, highest resolution of any console ever created.
Sorry, I was going to say that the tight-fisted part of me is saying maybe I shouldn't get it on monthly because it will come down in price and I'll be able to get it at a cheaper price. But there's this sort of logic behind it of, okay, if they're doing monthly price plans, I don't think Microsoft are going to be as keen on changing the prices as much as they did with the older generation consoles. Do you think that has any merit?
I'd agree, but I think retailers might. If Microsoft don't, I think you'd have companies that are eager to stay in business, like Game and the rest. They may well drop the price, to try and spur sales on loss leader type,
I think what you'll find is better bundles I don't think you'll find in the first 2-3 years, you're not going to find cheaper consoles, mate. All you'll find is really, really good bundles. But then Microsoft are screwed. Well, the shops are going to be screwed out of it because Game Pass is so freaking good.
Well, this is what I wanted to talk about as well. Is like when I had a console, like I remember when Halo started getting unpopular. Just keep in mind, I used to play Halo to death, and when everyone moved away from it, I was talking to people about what they started playing, and I remember speaking to Dave years ago, and you suggested to come and play with you and Tom on that war game. I can't remember what it was called. You could take control of like helicopters and stuff. It wasn't COD. It was. Any ideas?
Was it
Maybe.
Battlefield?
Yeah.
Maybe Bad Company? Bad Company.
Yeah, it would have been Bad Company.
No, I think it's Battlefield.
Battlefield is Bad Company.
Oh, right.
Great.
So I went out and bought it, paid like 30, 40 quid, probably played it twice, didn't like it. And then it was Gavin from my old job. He said, "We'll go and buy Destiny." And I went and bought Destiny, and I probably played on it for about 5 hours straight, and then didn't play on it again. And that was just another 30 quid wasted. Whereas all of a sudden, it's like, if I've got this Game Pass thing, it's like, let's see what's new out. I turn on a game, play it for 10 minutes, go, no, don't like that. I haven't paid for that. You know what I mean? I haven't. I get the opportunity to find what is my game without having to pay, 30, 40, 50 quid a pop. And that's what I'm finding exciting about this.
Yeah, Game Pass is excellent. And I think it's the kind of thing where if you hadn't come from a large library of games, having a subscription like that where you can just download and play whichever ones you want is phenomenal. But I think that it's about what you're going to see on the screen, right? Like I've got the One X. The One X outputs 4K resolution. I have a 4K TV. It looks fantastic. When it doesn't crash, Microsoft, you fucks. If I were to get the Series S, that only puts out at I think 1440. I say only. I mean, it still looks fucking great. Whereas the Series X puts out at full 4K and high frame rate and stuff. So it's that thing of on paper, I would look at the specs and go, I want to get the Series X because it outputs 4K and I've got a 4K TV. But my human eyes would see 1440p on the screen and be like, that looks amazing. I probably wouldn't know a difference if you didn't tell me. So it's that thing of, if the monthly payment difference, what is it, 10 quid?
Not even that. It's $20.99 to $28.99. So
£8 a month. Okay.
Pound, yeah.
So it's a big jump in hardware for £8 a month.
Yeah.
Would you see all the difference, especially if you didn't have a recent console? Maybe not. But for 8 quid, do you want to kind of? I hate the term future proof. I hate it.
Yeah.
But for 8 quid a month, you might as well do it. I don't know.
Yeah, and also because it's got hasn't it got more hasn't it got like a bigger SSD inside it?
I'm sure it's got bigger internal storage.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it just one-ups everything from the S, which at least in the olden days they used to have the decency to wait a year or two before they're like, surprise guys, here's another one that's going to be like a little bit cheaper for you, a little bit more fun for you. Like they used to do the PlayStation Mini and like all the small things, like the PlayStation 2 Slim, like they brought them back out again and they tried to do something different with it. And it's just like, if you're going to do it, at least wait. Don't just be like, here's our brand new console, but wait, that one's shit compared to this brand new console that's slightly better. I'm like,
they're putting everything out at once, aren't they, and being like, look, these are your options, go for it. And I do like that.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because it is like, you think about like hardware sales. You can only sell a certain number of consoles, and then realistically, everyone's got one. You saturated the market. What are you going to do now? And I think one of the things they could be, and this probably Microsoft and Sony both are afraid of, is, okay, they sell a whole bunch of the new console, and then you don't buy a new one for 5, 6, 7 years. So they've got to bring out that iteration so that you might upgrade, even though you don't necessarily need to upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
Like I got the One X. I had a One S previously. I got the One X because I got a new job and I wanted to treat myself. I didn't need it. I got a 4K TV at the same time, so it looked great, but it still would have looked good with my 1S. I wouldn't have known better, but I wanted to treat myself, so I upgraded. And they need that. They need the hardware to kind of, especially when they're putting the kind of hardware in that they have. It is a powerful thing. I don't know. I know that Microsoft have a lot of buying power, I am sure, but it's a chunky piece of hardware for not really a lot of money. I mean, 450 quid outright. That's what I paid for my 1X 2 years ago. So
that's it, isn't it? The prices were nowhere near as bad as what I think people were fearing. Like people were expecting like 600 quid, weren't they? So now when you've had that in your mindset, going, hey, actually it's only for 499 or 450. You're like, yeah, you know what? Actually, that's good.
I mean, £29 a month for, if you figure Xbox Live was previously, how much is Xbox Live? Was it like?
It's like a tenner a month, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like $7.99, $8.99 a month, wasn't it?
Like that. Game Pass, was something similar. And if you figure you're getting all that, and then the console for effectively like 15 quid a month or something, that's really good. If you're going to play it, because that's the big thing. Like I look at it and I go, yeah, I could afford £29 a month for a new console. That'd be awesome. However, I realistically, and Reg, I'm sure you're here on this. Like you might get to play an hour in the evening, maybe, a couple times a week, maybe. You don't get to put the hours in. If I could sit down and like, okay, it's Saturday afternoon, I'm going to put 6 hours into this game and really hammer the story, then yeah, like a top-end console like that makes a lot of sense. But given the fact that I can play for the odd hour here and there, it doesn't really make sense to upgrade my console. But that's me, I'm
in the exact same situation as you. Now, this is the first time, weirdly, where I'm not going to be getting the console around its launch window. Now, the one thing which this has been a very, very Microsoft heavy one, and we'll go back into that in a second, but Sony just released a state of play video where they're showing off the new UI inside the PlayStation. Now, this is fucking incredible. So
really?
it's I thought it was going to be just very similar to the PS3, PS4. Like there was no change to the UI whatsoever. Like the main screen, the options, all that sort of stuff. It was just identical. This one, however, you use cards on the boot up screen. So these cards will have like the games, and then it'll show like a mini sort of deck of cards sort of scrolling down. And you can choose your games from there and the usual sort of stuff. But what you can do is when you look at a game, you go, oh yeah, so on here now there's some achievements of stuff that I can do, like challenges that I've been doing in like Little Big Planet. So one of them might be find the monk outfit that's on level 1. The second one might be find 4 sack boys in level 6. What you can do is look at that card and go, yeah, okay, I want to do the level 6 one. So you choose a level 6 because that's what you've been doing. And straight away, without any load screen, without any main title screen, nothing, you're straight back into level 6 from the actual main menu. And then that's if you're playing Squadrons, which is going to get upgraded to the PS5, and I'm like, oh, I really want to play Squadrons. If I join your party just to chat to you, I can then jump straight into your game like that, just instantly. No, again, main screen, go to multiplayer, select join party. If I'm in your party, I can just jump straight into your game and play with you on that. If I'm waiting, I'm like, I just need to finish this level, but I want to see what you're up to, I can choose to see your screen, and I can move that screen around my screen while I'm still playing, so I can see what you're playing while I'm playing. So it's amazing. So I can be playing Little Big Planet with like Ash, and you're like, Reg, I finally got Shenmue 4, and I'm like, amazing. Let me see what you're up to on it. So whilst we're playing,
jump in.
I can literally just watch you play it in anywhere, drag it around my screen, make it full screen, make it tiny in the corner, do whatever, and I can just watch your progress of that whilst me and Ash is still playing at the same time and having the chat to it, which is just, it's a phenomenal use of it. And the other thing I love is if you're having a look at, say, the challenge, for example, sake of the finding the monk costume, which they were showing you on the Little Big Planet. You can choose for, and they were saying like 90% of the games so far are going to be using this feature. You can choose game assist it's called. And straight away, just from one of the cards, as you're still playing the game, going through, you can choose game assist, and that will show you either a little mini wiki in the corner, which tells you how to get such a thing. You can choose hints, but not solutions, and that hint will tell you whereabouts it could be, or show you a photo of where it is, like sort of where it is, like giving it away but not. Or you can just full-blown watch a YouTube walkthrough whilst you're playing still, so you can do it side by side as that's on the screen with you somewhere. So you could just have it in a little box in the corner, playing around while you're doing that.
That's
and I'm
cool.
like, you know what? I love so many games at the minute, but like you were saying, I've only got like an hour to kill. Like so many puzzle games and stuff could be like, oh fuck, I don't know how to do this. I can literally have it next to me on the same screen, being worked out while I do that. That is freaking phenomenal.
Well, I think it's fair to say that the PlayStation line, I think it's always had a better interface than the Xbox. Like, I've gotten used to the Xbox One over the last couple of years as I've been using it, but I did always prefer the PlayStation's interface.
It's just a bit cleaner.
I haven't had one since the PlayStation 1. Apologies, but I just always went right down the route of Xbox.
Yeah, but you've been a Halo man for as long as I know. So.
Yeah, I know.
And that's it. I only jumped into the PlayStation side of it, because I had the Xbox, I had the 360, had an Xbox One. But I had, because I'm a fucking whore for consoles, I was like, I need them all. But because everyone else was playing on the PlayStation, so like, hey, are we all playing on the Xbox tonight? What do you mean you've all jumped over to PlayStation? I'll catch up at some point. And then I was like, you know what, fuck it, everyone's getting on the PlayStation train. The minute I do that, everyone's like, hey, we're getting on the X. I'm like, fuck's sake. Just choose. Let me know in advance before I buy.
I do find the us versus them argument, though, relatively feral amongst the console wars, which is interesting. I mean, I guess it's always been like that from the Nintendo versus Sega days.
Well, it's weird, isn't it?
People have fallen out based on the fact that they went out and bought an Xbox rather than a PlayStation.
No, but it's the weirdest thing, because if you think about it, with the exception of console exclusives, they're the same damn thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they are a way into the game you want to play. And, you know, if you want to play a Halo game, then you buy an Xbox. If you wanted to play a number of the classic Japanese titles, you bought a Sony console. That's just how it was. There's not it's so weird how people get so precious about it.
Or now the route to purchase. The route to purchase has now become a viable, like, contender in the conversation. But I think what people don't realise, that are being feral for their, and I'm saying their in air quotes, for their console, what those people don't realise is the fact that this sort of battle, this like non-monopoly, is driving the market, is driving them to do better. You know, if Xbox wasn't doing what they did, you know, we'd still be on technology of like PlayStation 3 right now, because there'd be no reason for Sony to work as hard as they are to keep up to date with market, because there wouldn't be any competitor. Likewise, if it was the other way around, it's exactly the same as when you look at iPhone. When iPhone came out, all of a sudden all the other manufacturers started pulling their finger out. But I remember Microsoft, their Windows Phone, it hadn't changed for like 4 years because it didn't need to. They didn't have any competition. So the touchscreen interface was just shit because it didn't have to not be shit. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. But I love the fact with this as well, though. You've got the I don't want to say the ugly duckling of the lot, but Nintendo, who are just like, hey, we've got lots of innovation now. I mean, like,
they're
you guys
always on the sidelines, though, aren't they?
It's so weird how Microsoft and Sony are just like, look at this. Like, next year you're going to be able to play like Call of Duty 9000 in 4 billion K.
Yeah. And Nintendo are like, guys, we made a ring.
Yeah, they're like, hey guys, look, here's a remote control car that's got a camera in it. Give us £100. And I'm just like, what? Yeah, okay, cool.
My thing with Nintendo, right, is that Nintendo, they're just nuts. Like they don't even they don't even do good Nintendo games anymore. Like it's just like rehashes of old stuff and like, oh, do you want Mario Kart 25? It's like, dude, you peaked at the N64. What are you doing?
Still buying it. People are still paying money for it though, and they always will because they've got
the N64 one's the worst one.
How dare you, sir? The N64 was excellent.
Of Mario Kart?
Of Mario Kart.
No, I completely agree. The best Mario Kart was absolutely no. Well, I mean, that was the second best. First best is absolutely
only because I beat you on the battle mode. That's why you're like, nah,
shut your face. Stay away from my balloons.
I am still undefeated battle mode on the SNES.
Stay away from my balloons. No, it's Double Dash for me.
Double Dash on GameCube is the GameCube is great Mario
Kart. Star Wars Rogue Squadron on GameCube was an absolute amazing game.
My God,
can we not just say that GameCube is the most underrated console ever, please?
with its mini discs.
Underrated.
Oh, the Dreamcast
being the most underrated.
Don't with the Dreamcast. Come on, man. You're fighting a losing battle there, surely.
So the first console with online capabilities, the first console with crazy peripherals to go with it, the fishing rod, first game to bring arcade actual classics to the
whoa. Not the first console for crazy add-ons. The NES had the bazooka.
That was the SNES. The NES had the
Super Scope.
Sorry, Super Scope. Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, yeah, so the Dreamcast had either miniguns, Uzis, or pistols you could buy as light guns, but it had fishing rods. It also had a microphone, so you could talk to a tadpole, which then turned into a fish with a human head.
Yeah, I remember that. What was it called?
Seaman.
Yeah.
Oh, God, it wasn't called Seaman.
Yeah, it was called Seaman.
Reg, we said most underrated, not most mental console.
Nintendo, that was Sega.
The memory card for the Dreamcast is
it's playable.
It's the greatest accessory of all time ever.
It's the one that plugged into the controller and you had a screen.
Yep, the VMU. So you could literally play the Sonic Adventure, because you were talking about Sonic before. Sonic Adventure, you had like a chow garden where you could use these little mini pets.
It had a keypad on it.
It did. It was amazing. It had start select, little A/B buttons on this pad.
That's nuts.
You could literally use that as like a Tamagotchi. If you're playing virtual tennis, like what I used to do with my brother at the time to see who made the bruise, whoever lost the game, I used to get so cocky, I'd be like, I'm not even going to look at the screen. And I would play the game just from the VMU screen. When I was playing Shenmue, it used to teach you how to do the moves that you were learning. Because in the game, it wouldn't tell you. It'd just be like, take a deep breath in. And it was like, tense your body up so you've got to press back and move up and stuff. But on the VMU, it would show you the buttons you need to press. It was amazing. So it's Skies of Arcadia, your little mini map would be inside there.
That's mental.
You'd be able to run through everything. It was glorious.
I remembered the Dreamcast having a little screen on the controller. I did not ever realize that the memory unit was the screen, was a playable game. That's okay. You know what? I take it back. Dreamcast is fucking batshit, and therefore is the most underrated console. I hold my hands up. I did not know that it could do that. That's insane.
Guys, if I am going to get one of these new Xboxes, what do you think the first 5 games I should try out on Game Pass would be?
Shenmue 1 and 2.
This fucking guy.
They're not going to be on Game Pass, are they?
They're on Game Pass.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, Shenmue 3 isn't. Shenmue 1 and 2 is.
I might finally get to have a go because of the fact that I don't even have to buy it. Just, press a button.
And I never thought I'd ever hear myself say this, but please don't.
Please don't what?
Just don't. Because
don't have a go.
Because you're going to have a go at it and be like, Reg, this is shit. The acting's awful. The controls are absolutely horrendous. The storyline's just atrocious. And I'm going to be like, I know Dude, it is.
One of my top 5 favorite games is Resident Evil, and that's mainly because of Barry. Where's Barry?
Yeah. Oh, mate. I was fighting a one-sided battle last week again with Barry Burton. Barry Burton is the greatest.
You are almost a Jill sandwich
of all time ever, and I will fight. That is my hill I will die on. I adore Barry Byrne. And Dan was like, I don't even know who he is. And I was like,
Savage.
Oh my God.
Does he play?
No. Resident Evil 0 and Code Veronica are the only two he's played. So I spent about 20 minutes shouting at Dan. So when I edited it, it only lasted about 2 minutes.
So Shaun, I'm just browsing through the games that are on Game Pass, and I found one that obviously you will play, which is Bridge Constructor Portal.
What?
A little Portal game, all about building bridges.
No, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not made by the Valve, is it? It's just like, here's a little crossover type thing, if I remember correctly.
I believe so. But, it's Portal, so Shaun's in, right?
Yep.
What else you got? You got lots of crazy Japanese games, of course you do.
Outer Worlds is awesome. Wasteland 3 is phenomenal.
I have not played Outer Worlds. I played Wasteland. I played this for like 10 minutes because I had to get, sorry, boring dad story here. So Lou went out with her friend. I had to get B down to sleep. And so it was a case I was going to get B down to sleep, have my pizza, because I treat myself, because I'm a fat fuck. And then once I sit down, I was going to play some video games for an hour or something before she got home. That night, B took so long to get down that by the time I got her to sleep and had anything to eat, I sat down for 10 minutes. I got through the introduction part of Wasteland 3. I played for 5 minutes, and then they got home. I was like, oh.
Jesus.
Yeah, that happened. I had the first time before Dan took the PlayStation, and it hadn't been used for months and months and months. And then Ash was like, right, I'm going out with the girls. So if you do whatever you want to do, I was like, oh my God. It's amazing. And then Oliver surprisingly went to bed at a decent time, unlike fucking last night. He went to sleep and he was like, I'm going to sleep for the rest of the night, Dad, because I know you've got a full night of gaming ahead of you. And I was like,
Aww.
What an absolute legend. I appreciate
Did he say that?
And then the PlayStation turned on. It was like, hey, you've not updated your console in like a year. Guess what, guys? Here's a 12-hour console update.
Oh, shit.
I'm not playing on the PlayStation tonight. What am I going to do? I'll play Hearthstone on my phone.
Nice.
Of course, that's what I'll do.
I'll tell you what, I loaded up Squadrons the other night, and bearing in mind it's only been out for like 2 weeks, and I hadn't played it for a few days. And I thought, I'll have a quick game on here. I loaded it up, and it's like, a 1.7 gig update. I was like, what are you possibly updating? You're brand new. There's no new content. What do you want from me? So, Shaun, you got Goat Simulator? Goat Simulator's on Game Pass?
I already bought that, which is really annoying. I got it on an Xbox Live deal. That's another point as well, is when I traded on my Xbox, I also gave up the fact that I've got loads of games on my account. So I'll be able to play like GTA and stuff again, I'm guessing.
So there's a game on here.
Compatible.
So the real thing for you, there's the Halo the Master Chief Collection is on there, so you can play all the Halo you've ever wanted to play.
Amazing.
But there's a game on here which I've read about but haven't ever played, which I really wanted to, which is called Hello Neighbor. And it's the game where you got to sneak into your neighbor's house because you think he's committed a murder, and you've got to, and it's meant to be amazing. So that's on there, which is cool.
Streets Rage 4.
Nice.
Very happy.
Killer Instinct. Holy shit. Anyway, Mass Effect. There you go. I solved it for you.
I still haven't played any of Mass Effect.
Of course you haven't. You're a savage. Although weirdly, just the first one apparently. That's interesting.
So far, I think because they're going to be waiting, aren't they, to put the
just give me a remaster, man.
I'm just excited. I'm just excited to be able to. Well,
is right now on your Quest you can download Walking Dead: Saints and Sinners. Download that because it's probably the best VR game you'll ever play.
How much is it?
It's fucking phenomenal. I bought it on the PS4, so I don't know on the Quest. Probably about 25 or 20.
Yeah.
And then in Halloween, one of the games which is on Game Pass anyway, and we were discussing before, Blair Witch. That comes out on Halloween night on the Quest. So that's already out on the PS4 and the Xbox and stuff, but they've rebuilt it from scratch. I was saying to Dan last week on the pod.
I was talking to Shell the other day, Dan's Shell. Guess what she hasn't seen? Blair Witch. She didn't even know what it was.
Wow. But you know what? That doesn't surprise me though, at the same time, because apparently she finds lots of things scary. So,
I mean, I hate scary films, but I
found lots of things scary.
I thought Blair Witch was like one of those things that like everyone,
yeah. Is that I can say an urban myth, but it is going out.
I'll confess
before you watch it.
I'll confess that I've never actually watched all the way through.
I've never watched it.
I'm aware of it. I'm aware of it, but I've never watched it. It's The Outer Worlds. I've never played The Outer Worlds. It looks nuts.
Outer Worlds. Did you? Well, I know you love Fallout, and I know you love New Vegas.
That is true.
Yeah. So you will love Outer Worlds because it's the New Vegas team that created Outer Worlds. They wanted to do a follow-on from New Vegas, and they were like, no, we're moving on. So like, you know what? Fuck you, we're going to do our own franchise. They created the Outer Worlds.
It does look awesome.
I think what I'm excited about, though, is like coming onto the podcasts, having a chat about games and stuff, and you being like, oh, this came out this week. And I can just go downstairs after that podcast and just go on.
Yeah, and literally any studio that is owned by Microsoft, so their first party games are all going to be.
So now Bethesda.
On day one. Yeah, and the really surprising weird thing is Phil Spencer put up a really cryptic tweet about Splinter Cell. So they're saying something about I can't remember what it was, but it was something. So there's blatant Splinter Cell is gonna. They said it always feels like part of the family. Around it, like the company feels like it's part of the family, and I was like, the company feels like it's part of. Fuck, are they looking at buying Ubisoft? So
that'd be mental.
Could you imagine?
So if that's the case, then to be fair with you, like, fuck me.
You might be coming over to Xbox.
Well, the only reason I bought an Xbox originally was because Shenmue 2X came out on the Xbox, and that had like additional little bits and pieces that you didn't have in the original Shenmue 2 on the Dreamcast. So I was like, fuck it, I'm bound. I've got to play it. So I bought it for that. And yeah, and then obviously now you've got Shenmue 3, so I'm like, well, you know what? You've got my loyalty for now, because that's all it takes.
You're just following Shenmue.
So
one day we're going to find out that you and Ash only got together because she had some kind of Shenmue link, and you were like, I have to get close to this woman so I understand what's going on, and then you ended up marrying her, and that's where you are now. It's all because of Shenmue.
That is something I cannot confirm nor deny.
the video memory card told him to marry a girl, marry Ash.
So
that was one of the special moves.
So Shaun, I found your first game on Game Pass, and it is a game which is rated 17, mature, with blood, strong language, and violence, and it's called Void Bastards. You play a group of looks like escaped prisoners, working your way through derelict spaceships and scavenging and managing ships in combat. Called the Void Bastards.
Are there like indie games on there, like Prison Architects and stuff?
A gazillion.
Yeah, a bunch of stuff on there.
A gazillion indie games on there. You could play a new indie game, I reckon, about every hour for 3 months and not.
But I mean, like the popular popular indie games though.
Yeah.
Like what was the other one I wanted to try out? Like
that's what all the Twitch streamers are doing at the minute, because there's not many huge AAA titles coming out. They jump on Game Pass and just be like, hey, watch us with this, and they try and get the new indie buzz. You know, the way that like Among Us has got, and like Minecraft had before that, and you know, Fall Guys had. Like, that was from that. Like the PlayStation Plus and the Game Pass were like, fuck it, there you go. Let's have Fall Guys now make us famous.
I kind of want to have a go at 2 Point Hospital as well. I'm hoping that's on.
That's so good. I do love 2 Point Hospital. Got it on the laptop because Sega is just turned 60. Going back to Sega for a second. So they're doing like an amazing celebration this year. And they're bringing out some awesome little tidbits throughout it all. And they're doing huge sales, like 2 Point Hospital on, I think it was Steam, was like $1.99 instead of $24.99. So I was like, right, well, that's a fucking no-brainer. I love Theme Hospital, so I'll get that. And they've done a Streets of Rage / Yakuza mashup, which looked awesome as well, to be fair. I know I used to slide off Yakuza a lot before Shenmue 3 came out, but now Shenmue 3 is out and about, I can say, you know what, fuck it, do what you want. So it's fine. I enjoy that mashup. But the best thing, the greatest thing they've done is there was a really shitty looking remake of Golden Axe, which this company were doing.
God.
And it looked awful. So Sega axed it, in effect, and they're now saying, hey, do you want to see what it actually looked like? We're going to release it for free on this certain date. And I think it's like the 27th or something of this month. And they've called it Golden Axed.
Nice.
But they haven't told the guys that created it that they're doing this. And the first time the guys found out was from the announcement trailer going, like, you asked for it, you've got it. Golden
They must
Axe.
have been pissed though, right?
Oh, they are fuming. It's hilarious. But there's like sales on for like the past month of all the Sega stuff, and some of them have been amazing, like brand new titles and stuff, and then loads of the old classics, like all the Sonics and stuff, have either been like free or dirt cheap to purchase. So yeah, I was going to say it's been amazing, but yeah,
I've just seen on Game Pass that all the Telltale games, Walking Dead, ones are on there, and it occurs to me that I played the first season, and I had the second season, and I played like interim story between the two, and then I never played the second season of that. I think I got too close to it, and I was like, I couldn't face what could happen, so I just stopped.
Yeah, they are really good games to tell us, aren't they, to be fair?
They are. And yeah, so I think The Outer Worlds is the next one I need to play at some point. But
Have you, just going slightly back to two different topics we were discussing before.
Right.
Did you play Fallen Order? Jedi Fallen Order, the Star Wars game?
Very briefly, because I didn't... I won't say I didn't like it. That's not fair. I didn't really play it long enough to not like it. I didn't really enjoy the gameplay.
Right.
Like,
okay.
It looked great.
Type of
yeah, and sort of, it felt like mash X to dodge, and it felt like a QuickTime event. Some of the combat and stuff.
Right. Okay.
That's just me. I didn't play it a lot. But I liked the setting. I liked some of the set pieces. I liked a lot of the bits of it. But it didn't grip me because I think it wasn't the kind of Star Wars game I wanted to play.
Right. Okay.
It was kind of meant to be a bit like an RPG, but when you've played Knights of the Old Republic, like that's an RPG. That's a proper Star Wars RPG.
Yeah, so this was their variation of Bloodborne or Soulsborne-esque universe, whatever they want to call it. Yeah. I fucking adored it. And really? The reason I wanted to bring it back up now is going back to Shaun's, I think, first or second point of conversation in this podcast, was Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So at the end of this year, you're going to be able to purchase Cal Kestis's lightsaber from the actual.
I saw that. It won the vote, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and I fucking loved his lightsaber. Like, I love doing all the tinkering with the lightsaber stuff. That's probably one of my favourite Star Wars games. Probably one of my favourite games this gen as well, to be fair.
But it's interesting because they touted the fact that you could customize it, but it was only the appearance, wasn't it? The lightsaber didn't do anything differently. It just looked different. So when they said
get a double-bladed one.
Well, yeah, but then when they said they were going to have that one as one that you could get at Galaxy's Edge, I was like, well, hang on, you can customize it. So Cal Kestis' lightsaber isn't the same for everybody. So it was interesting. But I think that, I don't know, I wanted to really love it. I wanted to play it and be like, this is incredible. But I was like, well, it's good, but it's just not for me. And I'm sad. But speaking of Star Wars, thanks for bringing it back. Because in less than 2 weeks, we have the return of the Mandalorian.
That's quick.
I know. And the Mandalorian is often touted as the kind of savior property of the Star Wars franchise, because people, there's a lot of mixed feelings with the sequel trilogy. but there seem to be no mixed feelings when it comes to the Mandalorian. Like
yeah, everyone just fucking absolutely adores the Mandalorian.
It hits the right notes. Although this could change because of the fact that they're talking about bringing back a couple of fan favorite characters. So yeah, the rumor. I say rumor. I don't even know if it's officially been confirmed. I think it has. I just haven't seen anywhere that says it's definitely been confirmed. Is the fact that Rosario Dawson is going to be in it as Ahsoka Tano.
Oh my god!
And given that Ahsoka was created for the Clone Wars series, and obviously appeared in the Rebels series as well, she became this massive fan favorite. And I guess my concern with that is that she's become the fan favorite because there's a lot of incel fanboys who liked the look of her, even though she was a fucking child in the first series of the Clone Wars. But she's obviously this fan favorite, and it's the same. In my head, it's the same fans who hated characters in the sequel trilogy that loved Ahsoka Tano. Like, not everyone, of course, but there's a lot of them that overlap. And then also the fact that they're talking about Katie Sackhoff of Battlestar Galactica fame being in it as Sabine Wren. Not Sabine. Right. Oh, not Sabine. Everyone's going to hate me when I said that. Bo-Katan, who is also a Mandalorian. So it's that thing of they're bringing back characters from the Clone Wars and from Rebels, and it could go either way, because if they are one thing that a lot of the vocal Star Wars fan base, they're very particular, and if that character comes back and it is not like they remember, they will kick off. And it makes me sad because I'm not one of those Star Wars fans, but there's a lot of them out there. So
yeah, I also heard. Who's it? Sorry,
Kingdom Hearts. Sorry, I've just been reading through the.
You saw the Game Pass stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I just got really excited and saw Donald and was like, "Oh my god."
Well, to be fair, there's a lot of people that have been doing mashups of the Kingdom Hearts with the child, so it wouldn't surprise me if they do some weird crossover with that.
Some crazy crossover.
I did hear some rumblings, possible rumors that they may be doing a Mandalorian movie as well.
Well, it's that thing, isn't it, where it's working really well, and you don't know whether they would risk that or just keep it as a successful series. I hope it's that one.
Keep it, yeah. I hope keep it as a series. I don't think they should move it on from that, because it's nice to have something fresh to look at constantly instead of milking it for an hour and a half. It's nice to have a proper full-on series to go back to.
You know what's crazy though? I was just looking at Series 2, and so Series 2 is also 8 episodes. The first series is 8 episodes. However, in Season 2, of the 8 episodes, 6 of them are written by Jon Favreau. So he has got firm control over that, hasn't he? It's crazy.
It is. It's amazing. Someone put up a post. I can't remember. It was something like, you asked him for a superhero movie and he delivers the fucking MCU. Mm-hmm. You asked him to help out TV, he delivered you The Mandalorian. And then I think the next one was you asked him to write a book, and it's just the Bible Part 2. It's like, yep, fair enough. It's like he probably would have the biggest book. God bless him.
I kind of feel like you just give Jon Favreau something and just say, here you go. Just run with it. It's the kind of thing where I'm thinking, why not just get him to be the president? Like, you want to fix America, give it to Jon Favreau. Yeah. Give him 4 years. You give him creative control. He'll sort it out. He will sort it out. But
when is it? Oh, another week until we find out whether America's going to continue to be on fire or not?
No, it's November 3rd. So we have a couple of weeks.
Oh, is it fuck's sake.
Yeah, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Yeah, it's...
It's 2 days before my little one's B-Day.
Aww.
Although last night, so I will go into this. Going back to the Florida part of the conversation, and obviously keeping in touch with being a dad, as we were talking before about holidays and stuff. Obviously, going to Disney World with Oliver is a no-go for now, because not just COVID and stuff, but because of attention span is awful in certain aspects. So trying to keep him entertained on a plane for 8.5 hours would be like a definitely a no-go. So we'd have to wait till he's a bit old enough to understand and stuff. But he's so besotted by the Disney castle that like we started watching, like trying to put films on, and the minute he sees the Disney castle, he's like, oh, he gets really excited. But it's because they used to put it in front of the Mickey Mouse cartoons, so he was genuinely like, oh my god, it's Mickey Mouse, and he's like, oh wait, what is this? Like, this is not Mickey Mouse. And he would just lose interest. But recently he's found the Smith's toy catalogue we've got, so he's been like looking through it, and he keeps pointing to the Toy Story like Forky. So we were like, right, okay, let's watch Toy Story. And to begin with, he was not really that bothered, but we love dinosaurs being there, so we've been buying him like the Rex cuddly toys and stuff, so he's got some Toy Story figures and stuff to play with. And last night he went to bed. We went to bed about 12, and like 2 o'clock he was like, right now, Dad, I'm awake for the night. Let's go downstairs, right, and watch Toy Story. And I was like, that's not a good idea, mate. You go to bed. That's a better idea. And he was like, yeah, no, what I'm going to do is cry and wake Mum up, or you can take me downstairs quietly while she can have a sleep. What way is it going to be, Dad? I was like, clever boy. Right, come on then. So like, took him downstairs, and he's got this thing now. Like,
how many did he get through?
So I brought him downstairs, and the first thing he did was pass me the remote control. And I was like, fucking hell. And then he has to be picked up. And I was like, he started this thing where, because our TV's up on the wall, he likes to go over to it and go like, what am I going to watch? And he points to what he wants to watch. Usually it's Paw Patrol, but now we found Disney Plus. We watched Toy Story 2. We watched every single short of Toy Story. So like the Hawaiian Vacation, Partysaurus Rex, Small Fry.
Amazing.
We watched Forky Asks the Question. All of them.
I love Forky Asks the Question. Then, I binged them as well.
And then we watched half of Toy Story 4 until he was like, you know what, Dad? It's like 6:15 now. I'll let you get some sleep because I know you've got work. I'm going to head up for a bit. I was like, right, okay. So I took him upstairs and then like put him in bed, and I was like, I'm up in 45 minutes. There's no point in me going to sleep. So I was like, cheers, mate.
I love how me and your baby child has the same taste in binge watching. It's insane.
But the thing is, he'll watch it, and I was saying to Ash, it really annoys me because it was like I said, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I was like, fuck's sake, just want sleep. Come on, we've had a fun day. Let's just get some sleep. And then he put Toy Story 2 out, and then he proper like snuggled into my arm and like melted into it. So I was like, he's going to fall asleep now any second. So it's good. And then the little bugger was like, I need to get down on the floor. And I was like, you're not playing. It's fucking 2 a.m. Like, sit down. He's like, no, I need to get down on the floor. I was like, go on, play around then. And he went and grabbed Rex, his big cuddly toy, and ran up to me and was like, raw. I was like, right, okay, you fucking cute little bastard. I was like, picked it back up and sat next to me, and he just was just playing with Rex, and every time Rex came on the TV, I'd hold him up, be like, raw. Like, yeah, I should be really annoyed now because it's early morning, but that's just too goddamn cute. And
that's the thing, isn't it? It's the thing with a kid,
I was going to say, is Bea into Disney?
She's getting there. She just doesn't got the attention span for full films at the minute. It's
usually series, isn't it? If you can catch him with like a 20-minute or 5-10 minute episode, and you'll be happy to know Peppa Pig's got a brand new series.
I know, it's not on Netflix though. Netflix only got 5 seasons, and I've watched all of them many times. Although Bea's caught up with Oliver now. She's on the Hey Dougie train. So
I do love the Hey Dougie train.
Took her a bit longer, but now she's on the Hey Dougie train.
Nice. So at the minute, I don't know if you have a Tesco's by you, but Tesco's have got like a half to 3/4 price sale on all their stuff. There's like big, huge, massive Peppa Pig play sets down from like 70 quid to like 20 quid and stuff, where the big, huge house with all the cars and the pigs and all sorts of stuff. And they've got some awesome little Hey Dougie character sets and dress up Dougie figures and cuddly toy figures and stuff. I know, not interested for anyone else, sorry, but I knew I had to tell you that.
No, I remember. I mean, we probably shouldn't bore people for too long on kid toy talk, but I remember when we were talking about your feelings about Peppa Pig. Let's say feelings. Let's leave it at that. We went out and got B some Peppa Pig related toys, and there's little characters from the show, and she loves it because she names them all and has them walking about, and it's very cute. However, she's got teeth. She's teething occasionally. She likes to chew on stuff. She chewed off Peppa Pig's ear, and then she chewed off George Pig's arm. So now I've got a one-eared Peppa and a one-armed George. And whenever she goes near them, it's like, please don't disfigure them any further. They don't need this. Their life's tough enough, man. Leave them alone. So,
yeah. This is the thing now. So, like, with that, and Oliver have noticed as well quite a bit since watching Toy Story. Like, he would look at his toys, and if you move the Paw Patrol vehicles around in a different order, the next time he sees them, he's like, what the... So they do come to life. And then I've noticed he hasn't tried biting any of his toys since started watching Toy Story. So I don't know.
Reg already gaslighting his kid before the age of 2. Love it.
Oh my god, the toys have feelings. Which is great.
Right on the topic of Reg making his kid believe he's gone nuts and has living toys, perhaps we should wrap it up for the evening.
Well, I mean, it sounds like a good place to end, doesn't it?
I'm sure you treat Oliver very, very well, and he loves every minute of it.
Just before we do, and this is a one more thing, harkening back to the good old days of one more things. We all love Die Hard, don't we?
Of course,
it's all right.
It
nearly tis the season as well, actually.
Yeah. Well, and we all love going on Twitter and seeing his daughter tweet out really inconspicuous tweets about how a certain franchise is coming back, and then everyone to get really, really excited. Have you not seen this?
No.
So Rumour put up a rumour that a certain thing was coming back, and it was basically some figure walking down a really snowy street whistling a certain tune, and everyone's like, holy shit, Die Hard's back. And they are right. Die Hard is back. Bruce Willis is back as John McClane in a car battery advert.
No.
2 minutes, full on action. Literally just balls to the wall action for a full 2 minutes, which includes him like knocking some guy's face off completely with a car battery.
So he's sold out, basically.
It's a massive sellout, mate. But to the stage where it was about a week later that everyone found out it was for a car battery effort. Everyone was like, "Oh my god! It's like John's back! John's back! This is going to be amazing."
I'm surprised he's still alive. I haven't heard from Bruce Willis in years.
He's always about.
Anyway,
yeah.
I just had a quick chance to Google Rumour Willis, and the crazy thing about Rumour Willis is that she looks exactly like you would imagine a perfect mix of Demi Moore and Bruce Willis to look. That's uncanny.
Yeah.
If someone said to you, picture Demi Moore and Bruce Willis and then put them together in their face, this is who you would picture. That's wild.
Mm-hmm.
Never mind.
She's great. She was in Empire, a TV series that I used to watch. She's actually a really good singer, surprisingly. Like I know that's what she does, but she's a great singer.
Yeah, she has got a good voice. But yeah, crazy. Oh, John McClane, don't come back apart from on Netflix.
But you need to watch the advert just so you sit through what I sat through.
Thanks for that, Reg.
It is awful. So there's one bit where he goes into the place because obviously his car battery's dead, so he needs to buy a replacement car battery. And there's a big gang that's chasing him and stuff. So he goes in, he's like, I need a car battery. And she's like, here's this Die Hard car battery. They branded it Die Hard, the car battery, because it takes so long for it to actually go. It just keeps going and going and going. So they labeled the car battery brand.
I see. Yeah.
So, yeah, and he's like, oh my God, there's coming through the door. It's like, is there any other way out of here? And she smiles and looks up at the vent, and he's like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. And I was like, oh, don't do this. Then there's the vent scene, and I'm like, oh my God, no. It's just, you need to watch it. It's only 2 minutes, but it's 2 minutes of your life you'll never get back.
Thanks for that, Reg. And on that note,
I think I won't. I think I won't watch it. I just won't. I'll just go and watch Die Hard 2 instead. It's fine.
Back in the days when we didn't hate Bruce Willis.
Yeah. It's a shame he turned out to be a cock.
Never meet your heroes.
True. And on that note, feel free to meet me over on Twitter and the socials. I'm at Reg at nerdod.
Interesting plug, but fair enough. I like it. I'm not on Twitter anymore. I was for a while, but I'm. You can come. Why don't you come find me on the gram? I'm Olsen Prime. Yeah, hit up your boy Dave.
And then you've got me on TikTok as Shaun and HJB.
Yeah. Or alternatively, catch us on Wednesday, no Fridays, because we record on Wednesday. Catch us on Fridays over on our D&D channel as well, where we play some D&D and have some fun. But up until then, I've been Reg.
I've been Dave.
I've been Shaun.
Bye.
Thanks for listening.
Bye-bye.
Bye.